and welcome to the September 29th, 2024 episode of Nick's News. I am your host, Nick. Brought to you by Some Budget Studios. That's right, I am throwing money at this project. We're on every Sunday, and I thank you all so much for tuning in or catching the replay on the Facebook page or the YouTube page. That's right, we are simulcasting on YouTube and Facebook. Hooray! This is a program dedicated to bringing some good news to counter all the bad news that we are bombarded with on a daily basis, with the hope of bringing a little bit of joy back into the world. Several of our articles are pulled from goodnewsnetwork.org and goodgoodgood.co, but we do appreciate all of the articles sent in by you, the viewers. Hello, Cassidy, tuning in on the Facebook chat. So we've got everything up and running for another great episode. I'm really looking forward to this one. So let's get into our stuff. So for our news brew, we are going to be drinking, and I'll put that up against the camera, Sweet Baby Java by DuClaw Brewing Company. This is an espresso bean infused chocolate peanut butter porter. Yum. It's only 6.2% ABV, so it's a little on the lower side compared to what we're used to. But I am still looking forward to this. Hello, Will. Hello, Julie. Nope, nobody's late. I am the one that's just a hair late. So let's crack this open and get into the theatrics of a 5-minute pour. We are going to be using our really beautiful Michigan The Great Beer State pint glass that was given to me by one of my friends. It's an absolutely amazing glass. So cool. I love the artwork on this glass. And I really can't thank my friend Jason enough for having gotten it for me. This is the second of two, and yeah, just a beautiful glass. So, oh, Cassidy in the Facebook chat says she's still plugging away on that horrible project. She's working on a terrible work project that she clued me in on, and it is a doozy. So let's get into this. No Balisong bottle opener today, so we got a good crack, which blew the gain on my audio. And now, the head rises. A lot of gas in this porter. We want to get all that out. Will says he heard that pop on the Facebook chat. So, a lot of lingering head on this beer. That's not a bad thing. It just means that pouring takes time, precision, care. That's what she said Julie. So yeah, it's looking good. We're going to let that sit for a moment as we get everything all set on my end. I've got my little coaster here so that I'm not smashing glasses on my desktop. I'll keep adding a little bit of beer as we go along, and we will keep getting into the broadcast. So, shout-outs. Do you want some fine wine or some fantastic cider? Head on down to Fox Hen Winery in Grand Haven, Michigan. They are open Fridays and Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. Sadly, I will not be there this upcoming Friday, but in my stead, please, if you want to go try some great wine or cider, swing on down there. Great people, great owners. And yeah, I'll be back. Not this week, but next week I should be back, and I'll be there on that Friday. I should be. So, yeah, it's just a great place, and I absolutely love it. Second one, do you want some sweets? Check out that Sweet and Nutty Guy. He specializes in a lot of no-sugar baked goods and candied nuts, but they can do full flavor as well, and their website is in the description. And also, don't forget, there are some major elections coming up for those of us in the United States. I encourage everybody to participate in their right to vote. So you might want to double check and make sure that you are registered and ready when the time comes. So, yeah. Producer Donna saying that loud crack from the can is not messing up the YouTube audio, which is good. Sometimes I've heard that it will immediately lower your YouTube video, your YouTube audio if you blow over their gain limit. So, and Julie highly recommends the blueberry wine from Fox and Hen. I do too. News quote. I like this quote. Here we go. A day is only lost if you forgot that life, even in the worst of times, is still a gift. A gift you so very much deserve to live through and not just survive. And that is from Donna Ashworth, who is a Sunday Times best-selling Scottish poet and is credited with helping poetry sales reach record levels in the UK. So again, a day is only lost if you forgot that life, even in the worst of times, is still a gift. A gift you so very much deserve to live through and not just survive. So to Donna Ashworth, cheers. That is chocolate, peanut butter, espresso. You could drink that in the morning. Well, I could drink that in the morning. That is fantastic beer. Wow. Let's just top this off and get this glass emptied. Oh my. Julie saying I'm coming in good on her TV. Fantastic. I'm glad. Bug update. Yes, we are back to doing the bug updates because I have bug updates. Elmira has been a very busy builder. She's been excavating a new burrow that's on the opposite side of the tank, so it's on the side closer to me now. In doing so, she filled up half her water dish with soil, with all the excavated soil. Much to my annoyance, because that means I've got to go in there, pick a fight with her, clean out the water dish again, and then get it all regraded and fill it back up. So just an ongoing struggle with her versus the water dish. If you also notice behind me, there's a new terrarium that's next to Elmira's, and it's right there. So next to the spray bottle, there's this little terrarium. I wonder what that is. Well, it turns out that on a suggestion from a Nick's Newsie, Tessa, good friend, I needed to go down to a place called VI Pets in Grand Rapids on Division Street and check out some of the bugs they have. I went in there with the thought of a bug I was going to pick up, and then I saw a bug that I've only ever seen once before in a pet store, and I did not get a chance to buy it then. So the moment I saw it, I actually messaged producer Donna, and I said, Producer Donna, there's this bug. I've only ever seen it once. I've always wanted to take care of one. And then I bought it with the terrarium. So, there is a new bug. You will learn all about it on the next installment of Nick's Flora and Fauna, which will be out on Tuesday. That Tuesday is going to be the 1st of October. I'll have all the deets on it, but for now, I will give you a spoiler. Its name is Ripley. And that's all I'm going to say. Hi, Charlie, joining in the Facebook chat. Producer Donna saying Elmira is a hairless hamster because of all the burrowing and digging they do, which is accurate. Will on the Facebook chat saying, believe it or not, from the famous show Ripley's Believe It or Not. No, it's named Ripley. When you see it, you'll get it. So, should be fun. All right, with that, we're going to get into our broadcast, our good news. And our broadcast is broken up into 4 major categories. And those categories are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and then the wholesome notes, the really nice articles that we like to end on. So let's get into category 1, science and technology. This first one comes from Cassidy. Cassidy, thank you very much. I called it solar recombobulation. But I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all would like to read along. Oh, Mona checking in on YouTube Yes, this beer is absolutely delicious, Mona. Revolutionary catalyst uses sunlight to turn greenhouse gases into valuable chemicals. This article comes from SciTech Daily. It was posted by McGill University on September 18th of 2024. Researchers at McGill University have developed a method to convert two of the most damaging greenhouse gases into valuable chemicals using sunlight. This breakthrough could both address climate change and offer a sustainable alternative for manufacturing some industrial products. Imagine a world where the exhaust from your car or emissions from a factory could be transformed with the help of sunlight into clean fuel for vehicles, the building blocks for everyday plastics, and energy stored in batteries. Said co-first author Hui Su, a postdoctoral fellow in McGill's Department of Chemistry. That's precisely the kind of transformation this new chemical process enables. The research team's new light-driven chemical process converts methane and carbon dioxide into green-methanol and carbon monoxide in one reaction. Both products are highly valued in the chemical and energy sectors, the researchers said. The findings, published in Nature Communications, describes a novel mechanism rooted in nature's own blueprint, similar to how photosynthesis enables plants to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen using just sunlight. In this chemical process, a unique mix of gold, palladium, and gallium nitride act as a catalyst. When exposed to sunlight, the substance triggers a reaction. An oxygen atom from carbon dioxide attaches to a methane molecule, producing green methanol. Carbon monoxide is created as a byproduct. By tapping into the abundant energy of the sun, we can essentially recycle two greenhouse gases into useful products. The process works at room temperature and doesn't require the high heat or harsh chemicals used in other chemical reactions. Fascinating, said lead author Chow Jun Lee, a distinguished James McGill professor in McGill's Department of Chemistry and a Canada research chair in green/organic chemistry. This innovation offers a promising path towards Canada's target of net zero emissions by 2050 and turns an environmental challenge into an opportunity for a more sustainable future, said first author Jing Tan Han, a PhD student in McGill's Department of Chemistry. That is pretty cool. Russell in the Facebook chat throwing in about Ripley, they didn't know that they sold xenomorphs. So that is a really cool article. To everybody involved at the McGill University and to Cassidy for sending in that article. Cheers. Oh, that beer is a dessert. My gosh. Okay. Moving on to our next article. I called this one All Hail CoffeeBot. But I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. Some folks know that not only do I really enjoy beer, but I also really enjoy good coffee. As an engineer, I believe it is one of my few vices that I established because of engineering school. So a good cup of coffee will always get me. Using everyday waste, scientists invent coffee robots to clean oil and microplastics from water. This article was posted on goodgoodgood.co on September 24th of 2024. The author was Cameron Baker. Julie in the Facebook chat shouting, coffee. Microplastics have been found in every marine habitat where scientists have looked, according to a fact sheet from Ocean Conservancy. With countless marine animals and us humans ingesting these tiny particles regularly, the scientific community has forged ahead to create solutions, and according to researchers from George Mason University, one such solution could be found right in our kitchens. At least 6 million tons of spent coffee grounds, or the byproduct that comes from brewing coffee, are produced annually, but they don't have to go to waste. In fact, we already know that coffee grounds are capable of removing toxins from the environment, having been used to curb pollutants from agriculture and clean up oil spills. But a trio of scientists, including GMU Assistant Professor Jeff Moran, postdoctoral researcher Amit Kumar Singh, and high school lab assistant Tarini Basaretti, have mobilized the power of coffee grounds to create CoffeeBots, an invention that can remove oil, microplastics, and methylene blue from seawater. Coffee grounds work to clean up pollution because they have a porous, irregular surface, allowing pollutants to bind to the surface area. But Moran posited that this could be even more effective if the coffee grounds were coated with much smaller iron oxide nanoparticles. So the researchers made their coffee byproduct rusty by adding those iron oxide particles. This also made the substance magnetic, allowing a simple handheld magnet to drive the coffee bots through polluted water. While using coffee grounds to clean up oil spills is not entirely new, this team is the first to show that moving coffee bots outperform stationary ones at removing pollutants, since moving coffee bots encounter pollutant molecules more often than stationary coffee grounds do, a press release from GMU explained. Making the coffee grounds magnetic has another benefit. Once the coffee bots are recovered, they can be reused several times with little loss in water cleaning efficacy. This is really cool. The team's research, recently published in Nanoscale, concluded that this approach was effective in removing methylene blue, a dye commonly used in textile production, from water. Methylene blue is a carcinogen that can have adverse effects on both humans and marine life. Julie in the Facebook chat, I would call rusty dark roast. It can cause skin irritation if there's too much in the water, Bassaretti said. It can cause a lot of digestive problems, nausea, fever, lots of symptoms. The coffee bots cleaned the dye from the water samples and were especially effective when loaded with ascorbic acid, which helps break down the dye. Bassaretti was especially eager about these findings, considering the implications of the invention in practical use. It's cool because the countries that are big textile producers also happen to be the countries that are big in coffee production, she said, pointing to Brazil, Colombia, Ethiopia, India, Peru, and Vietnam as countries that produce both dyed textiles and coffee and struggle with water pollution. Most excitingly, however, is the coffee bot's ability to clean oil and microplastics from water samples. Just like oil clings to coffee grounds, so too do microplastics. Mona in the YouTube chat saying, I love the coffee bots already. Really amazing. I agree, Mona. One reason why microplastics and nanoplastics are such a tricky environmental problem is that they're so small, and that makes it difficult to locate them just to remove them, said Moran. By driving the coffee bots through the water, the hydrophobic interactions cause the microplastic particles to build up and accumulate on the surface of the coffee grounds. Certainly, there are other techniques to confront oil spills and clean microplastics from water, but using a byproduct from something as ubiquitous as coffee offers a more affordable and sustainable solution. For now, the team has applied to patent their CoffeeBot's technology. As Bassaretti now studies at Johns Hopkins University, Singh and Moran will further explore this research. Their future plans include attempting to make the CoffeeBots solar-powered, further investigating the range of pollutants that can be removed by this technology, and characterizing the efficacy of different types of coffee grounds. Ultimately, they want to make the simplest procedure to help the most people access clean water. Growing up, I always thought science was complicated, Bassaretti told WUSA 9 News. But here we have coffee grounds with rust on them, and we're able to remove a whole slick of oil. You can do science with very simple starting materials, and you can do some amazing things with it. That is cool. To everybody involved with this team at George Mason University, and especially Assistant Professor Jeff Moran, postdoctoral researcher Amit Kumar Singh, and high school lab assistant Tarini Bassaretti. Cheers. All right, so that's going to get us out of science and technology. We're going to move on to health and medicine, category 2. I called this one the Amazing Spider Bandage. And I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. Scientists create super strong spider silk that heals wounds. This article came from SciTech Daily. It was by the American Chemical Society, and it was posted on September 27th of 2024. It's nearly time to bring out the Halloween decorations and fill the house with all things spooky, like the classic polyester spider webs. However, scientists publishing in ACS Nano have created their own version of artificial spider silk. This one made from proteins that heal wounds rather than spooking guests. The synthetic silk is durable enough to be woven into bandages, which have successfully treated joint injuries and skin lesions in mice. Spider silk is one of the strongest materials on Earth, technically stronger than steel for a material of its size. However, it's tough to obtain. Spiders are too territorial and cannibalistic to breed them like silkworms, leading scientists to turn to artificial options. Teaching microbes to produce their spider silk proteins through genetic engineering is one such option, but this has proved challenging because the proteins tend to stick together, reducing the silk's yield. So, Bing Gao and colleagues wanted to modify the natural protein sequence to design an easily spinnable, yet still stable, spider silk, using microbes. The team first used these microbes to produce the silk proteins, adding extra peptides as well. The new peptides, following a pattern found in the protein sequence of amyloid polypeptides, helped the artificial silk proteins form an orderly structure when folded, and prevented them from sticking together in a solution, thus increasing their yield. Then, using an array of tiny hollow needles attached to the nozzle of a 3D printer, the researchers drew the protein solution into thin strands in the air and spun them together into a thicker fiber. This setup acted like a giant artificial spider spinning its web. I want to see a video of this thing. There's a picture of, like, the artificial silk coming out of these little nozzles, but I want a video of this artificial spider going to town. Because this is science fiction stuff. Producer Donna saying, guess it's better than being bit by a radioactive spider, but not as much fun. And Will following it up, that looks awesome. They then wove their artificial silk fibers into prototype wound dressings that they applied on mice with osteoarthritis, a degenerative joint disease, and chronic wounds caused by diabetes. Drug treatments were easily added to the dressings, and the team found these modified dressings boosted wound healing better than traditional bandages. Compared with a control group with neutral dressings, mice with osteoarthritis showed decreased swelling and repaired tissue structure after 2 weeks of treatment, while diabetic mice with skin lesions treated with a similar dressing showed significant wound healing after 16 days of treatment. The new silken bandages are biocompatible and biodegradable, and the researchers say that they show promise for future applications in medicine. That is really cool. To everybody involved in this project, where are the scientists again? I should write down who's working on it in my write-up so I can easily cheers them. But this is really neat. The article is Overexpressed Artificial Spidroin-Based Microneedle Spinneret for 3D Air Spinning of Hybrid Spider Silk. Bao Yang Lin, Bing Gao, Meng Wei, Shuhuan Li, Qian Zhou, and Bingfang He, all in the article in an article in ACS Nano. To everybody involved with creating artificial spider silk for wound cleaning and bandaging. Cheers. This next one kind of fits in between health and medicine and flora and fauna, so that's why we're going to stay in health and medicine with it, but it definitely carries over. I called this a corrected sight to behold, but I will copy and paste this into the chats if y'all want to read along. And thank you, producer Donna, for finding those names and posting them. Colorblind visitors hoping to see autumn leaves can use new viewfinders in all of Virginia's state parks. This was posted by Cameron Baker on It was posted on goodgoodgood.co by Cameron Baker on September 26th of 2024. While the splendor of fall colors, reds, yellows, greens, and oranges, is something many look forward to every year, people who are affected by color blindness may find it difficult to distinguish between colors among trees. With leaf peeping season around the corner, or already in full swing across the country, one state has made the beauty of autumn more accessible to its visitors. I can tell you that it is already in swing over here in Michigan. I went hiking today, and boy, are the trees starting to show their beauty and change. Virginia state parks have installed Enchroma-adapted viewfinders in each of its 43 parks, giving colorblind guests the chance to experience the stunning fall foliage in its full spectrum. The viewfinders are made by Seacoast Manufacturing and are equipped with special lenses from Enchroma that help those with red-green color vision deficiency experience an expanded range of colors. If you're not familiar with Enchroma, there's plenty of videos you can find of people who are gifted Enchroma glasses and get to see color for the first time, as the glasses have specialized lenses that correct the color pigment deficiency that those people are suffering from. It really is something. Lenses are engineered with a special optical filter, and although they are not a cure for color blindness, work for roughly 80% of red-green colorblind people. They do work for roughly 80% of red-green colorblind people, according to Virginia State Parks. Natural Tunnel State Park was the first to introduce these viewfinders in June of 2023, an initiative led by Chief Ranger Ethan Howes, who is colorblind. This viewer will allow park visitors with red-green color blindness to more fully experience the splendors nature has to offer. Howes said, "Being colorblind, I am looking forward to seeing the colorful fall foliage this year." The remaining 42 locations were rolled out this year, now all functional in time for Virginia's dazzling fall vistas. "Seeing the world in vibrant color is a gift many of us take for granted," said Virginia State Parks Director Dr. Melissa Baker in a statement. The Enchroma viewfinders help us create a one-of-a-kind experience for our red-green colorblind visitors and allow them to better enjoy the breathtaking beauty of our state parks. According to a press release, an estimated 8% of men and 0.5% of women are colorblind. In the United States alone, 13 million people live with colorblindness, and with over 8 million people visiting Virginia state parks every year, an estimated 341,000 of them are colorblind. "I guess there's a lot out there that I don't see," Zach E. of Hampton, Virginia said while using the viewfinders for the first time. "How strange. Now I am wondering what a lot of the different colors look like. It just looks so cool." Another guest, Jillian S. of Henrico, Virginia, said that when she saw in the viewfinders were the same colors she could see relatively well normally, but they were sharper. "They're more distinct," she said. "I'm seeing more variation in the greens. That's really kind of cool. It's exciting." The cost of each viewfinder is not immediately clear. However, the expansion across Virginia's site came from donations to the park system through the Roundup for Parks program, which people can contribute to when making purchases online or in stores. Since 2018, people have donated nearly $300,000 to the program, which has been invested in improving offerings and activities across Virginia's state park sites. This small act of accessibility is not unique to Virginia either. The state joins over 400 organizations worldwide that have installed the Enchroma viewfinders, including nearly 100 state and national parks across 25 states. It also aligns with a myriad of efforts across the country, in which state and national parks have begun to roll out other accommodations for disabled visitors, including adaptive cycling and kayaking, a wayfinding app that helps blind explorers navigate through parks, and more. This initiative underscores Virginia's commitment to enhancing outdoor experiences for all visitors and sets a new standard for state parks nationwide, said Matt Wells, director of the Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation. We're proud to play a role in opening up a world of vibrant color for colorblind individuals to experience nature like never before. That is really cool. To everybody at the Virginia State Parks for the installation of the Enchroma adapted viewfinders and allowing everybody to experience nature. Cheers. Mona says their understanding was that Enchroma doesn't work, and a lot of those videos were actually faked. It's interesting. I have a few friends who are colorblind, or red-green colorblind, and they've picked up Enchroma glasses, and they have been pretty surprised by the results, and have said that it does work. So, I'm not sure. I would hope that it's not fake. Like, their reaction seemed pretty accurate. I guess we'd have to do a little bit more research into that, because that's the first time I've ever heard that. All right, with that, we're going to move out of health and medicine. We're going to move into our third category, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals. This one was sent in by Cassidy. Cassidy, thank you so much for sending this one in. And yet again, we are traversing coffee territory. I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all would like to read along. Cassidy says that they can, in the Facebook chat, they can tell you that their roommate's glasses work great. He got his at... He got his at... Cassidy, are there some typos in what you wrote? I don't know what those are. So Cassidy in the Facebook chat is saying that her roommate got Enchroma glasses for fall time, and he was blown away by the colors. So Mona saying there are some debunking videos about them. I guess we've got conflicting results. Yeah, it sounds like they work for some folks. So fall time for the first time. Okay, that's what Cassidy meant to say. Cassidy's roommate got theirs at fall time for the first time and was blown away by the colors. So perhaps the glasses have better effects on others. Maybe some of it is advertising. That's always possible. But I am glad to hear, and Mona is saying they're glad to hear that they work for some folks. So I'm glad too that they do work for some folks. So Julie also saying maybe for some they work and others they don't. It's possible. It could all depend on the level of color blindness. All right, back to this article. Researchers dumped tons of coffee waste into a forest. This is what it looks like now. This was posted on Upworthy, and it was posted by Todd Perry on September 23rd of 2024. One of the biggest problems with coffee production is that it generates an incredible amount of waste. Once coffee beans are separated from cherries, about 45% of the entire biomass is discarded. So for every pound of roasted coffee we enjoy, an equivalent amount of coffee pulp is discarded into massive landfills across the globe. That means that approximately 10 million tons of coffee pulp is discarded into the environment every year. When disposed of improperly, the waste can cause serious damage to soil and water sources. However, a new study published in the British Ecological Society journal Ecological Solutions and Evidence has found that coffee pulp isn't just a nuisance to be discarded. It can have an incredibly positive impact on regrowing deforested areas of the planet. In 2018, researchers from ETH Zurich and the University of Hawaii spread 30 dump trucks worth of coffee pulp over a roughly 100 by 130 foot area of degraded land in Costa Rica. The experiment took place on a former coffee farm that underwent rapid deforestation in the 1950s. The coffee pulp was spread 3 feet thick over the entire area. Another plot of land near the coffee pulp dump was left alone to act as a control for the experiment. The results were dramatic, Dr. Rebecca Cole, lead author of the study, said. The area treated with a thick layer of coffee pulp turned into a small forest in only 2 years, while the control plot remained dominated by non-native pasture grasses. In just 2 years, the area treated with coffee pulp had an 80% canopy cover, compared to just 20% over the control area. So the coffee pulp treated area grew 4 times more rapidly. Like a jolt of caffeine, it reinvigorated biological activity in the area. The canopy was also 4 times taller than that of the control. And like the side-by-side photos of it all is crazy. The coffee-treated area also eliminated an invasive species of grass that took over the land and prevented forest succession. Its elimination allowed for other native species to take over and recolonize the area. This case study suggests that agricultural byproducts can be used to speed up forest recovery on degraded tropical lands. In situations where processing these byproducts incurs a cost to agricultural industries, using them for restoration to meet global reforestation objectives can represent a win-win scenario, Dr. Cole said. If the results are repeatable, it's a win-win for coffee drinkers and the environment. Researchers believe that coffee treatments can be a cost-effective way to reforest degraded land. They may also work to reverse the effects of climate change by supporting the growth of forests across the globe. The 2016 Paris Agreement made reforestation an important part of the fight against climate change. The agreement incentivizes developing countries to reduce deforestation and forest degradation, promote forest conservation and sustainable management, and enhance forest carbon stocks in developing countries. We hope our study is a jumping-off point for other researchers and industries to take a look at how they might make their production more efficient by creating links to the global restoration movement, Dr. Cole said. And this article actually originally appeared on March 29th of 2021, so this is a really good follow-up to that. That's fantastic. To Dr. Cole's team and everybody involved in this project, and to Cassidy for sending in that article. Cheers. It's funny, we're drinking a coffee porter and we got all these great coffee articles, huh? Alright, we're going to move on from flora and fauna into category 4, the wholesome notes. And we've got a good one. This is definitely a not all heroes wear capes article. I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. Mona in the YouTube chat saying, coffee saving the world? Sounds good to me. Airman rescues 79-year-old woman during hiking accident. It's the afternoon on a cool day in August, and you are hiking up a mountain toward a dazzling lookout with a view of Mount Rainier and the surrounding landscape. Snap, crunch. You feel your leg give out beneath you, and the sense of shock overtaking your senses. The calm scenery explodes into a landscape of fear as you realize that you have broken your ankle and cannot make it back down the steep mountain trail. This catastrophe was the exact situation 79-year-old Ursula Bannister found herself in on the afternoon of August 28, 2024, near Ashford, Washington, while hiking up to High Rock Lookout. Fortunately for Bannister, she was found and rescued with the help of other hikers, including Airman First Class Troy May, 62nd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron Heavy Aircraft Integrated Avionics Specialist. On Wednesday morning, August 28th, Bannister drove out to High Rock Trail to make her annual trip up to the lookout. This was where Bannister laid her mother's ashes to rest, and the reason for her hike, she said. I know the trail very well, and there was always many people there, said Bannister. When I couldn't find anyone to accompany me on this outing, I just went by myself. After a lunch on the platform, Bannister started the trail descent and suddenly stepped into some kind of shallow hole. The noise, feeling, and angle of her foot made her situation clear. The pain that began spreading after the initial shock caused Bannister to cry out for help, which came in the form of several hikers who started making calls to emergency responders and assisting her with medical care, she said. As the fellow hikers were making calls requesting assistance from local organizations, they discussed what other options there were to prevent further harm. Luckily for Bannister, 2 young men were nearby and able to help. After the group flagged them down, the men jumped into action. My first thought was, if I could carry her down, I should carry her down and get her there as quickly as I can, stated May. Mona in the YouTube chat, ankle breaks are tough. Hubby had one end of January. He's still recovering. I'm sorry to hear that, and I hope that his recovery is going well. Yeah, ankle injuries are really bad. May slung Bannister onto his back and started to carry her down the trail. Unfortunately, during the ordeal, May had to contend with gravity pulling Bannister off his back, his cowboy boots causing him unneeded pain, and attempting to ensure a smooth and level descent for Bannister by constantly braking with his legs. So, producer Donna following up, they were told it was going to take 5 hours for help to get to her. So these guys were just like, we're just going to carry her out. Good on them. Mona in YouTube, his recovery is going well. He's walking more every day. Great to hear, Mona. She was definitely in a lot of pain, stated May. I told her just a few more steps and we'd get her there. Through the descent, Bannister was assisted and carried primarily by May and his friend, Leighton Allen, who also carried Bannister for a short time. Once we got down, we loaded her into her car, elevated her foot, and started driving to the hospital, stated May. We met search and rescue about 30 minutes down the road, put ice on her foot, drove the rest of the way to the hospital, and waited for her son to get there. May had done everything he could to ensure the safe rescue of Bannister. He was reassured of this several days later when Bannister called him and Allen to tell them how thankful she was, to inform them about her surgery, and to let them know that she was recovering. I truly felt that these 2 guys were meant to be there to save me, and that sort of swam in my subconscious at the time, said Bannister. I considered them my angels. Due to his selfless rescue of Bannister, May received an achievement medal on Monday, September 9th of 2024. One of the Air Force's core values is service before self, and Airman First Class May clearly exemplified that core value with his actions, said Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Clifford, 62nd AMXS Commander. While our team of airmen showcase amazing accomplishments every day, we relish the opportunity to focus on one airman's courage and recognize them for truly living the Air Force's core values. That is amazing. To Airman First Class Troy May, 62nd Aircraft Maintenance Squadron Heavy Aircraft Integrated Avionics Specialist. Not all heroes wear capes, sir. Cheers. Well, that's about it. Just an announcement to let you all know, I am traveling all next week into the week after, so I'm not going to be around to be able to do Nick's News on the 6th of October. However, what producer Donna and I have done is we made a pre-recorded episode. That pre-recorded episode will air on both YouTube and Facebook at our usual 9 o'clock time. I encourage you to check it out. It is a compilation of all of the really cool news y'all have sent over the last couple of months. All packaged together, and it's a really cool... I had a ton of fun recording it, and I hope you all enjoy it. And then, just to whet your appetites even more... the following week, so that should be Sunday the 13th, I will be drinking the pumpkin beer. I have it sitting downstairs in my mini fridge, just waiting to destroy me. So, just to recap, the October 6th episode will not be live. It will be a pre-recorded episode that is going to go live at our usual 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time hour. And then on the 13th of October, we will have the pumpkin beer episode. And producer Donna saying it is not reruns, it's articles that have not been shown yet. So, Mona in the YouTube chat, great job, Airman Troy May, and Leighton Allen. I apologize, Leighton Allen. Thank you very much, sir. You are a hero as well. Cheers. So I picked up a horrifying high ABV pumpkin stout. I am hoping that the brutally high alcoholic value and the heaviness of a stout will be enough to overcome the terror and horrors of pumpkin beer. But we'll find out. I will make sure to post it beforehand if anybody wants to go out and grab a bottle themselves and enjoy it with me. Otherwise, that's about it. Thank you all so much for tuning in on the Nick's News Facebook page or on the YouTube page. We're usually live every Sunday. Our pre-recorded episode, however, will be live on October 6th. I encourage participation, so if you feel inclined, please, by all means, you can send in news suggestions for news brews, for shout-outs, news quotes, and especially articles across our 4 categories. And those categories, again, are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and wholesome notes. Those really nice articles that we like to end on. Yep, producer Donna in the chat also mentioning, new bug gets shown on Tuesday on the next installment of Nick's Flora and Fauna. So keep an eye out for that. If you want to send in suggestions for anything, you can do so by messaging the Nick's News Facebook page or emailing us at somebudgetstudios@gmail.com. I check it on a daily basis, and I enjoy everything that you guys send in. It really is fantastic. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment if you want on the Facebook and YouTube videos. We're trying to figure out how to get good news into the algorithm. There was a really cool podcast I was listening to that was talking about how the news likes to throw all the bad stuff and then end on a couple good things at the end. But, like, we just want to get good news out because there's so much bad news. So I'm not going to tell you to do anything. All I say is I really do appreciate the likes, the subscribes, and the comments on the YouTube and the Facebook videos. It really means a lot, and I thank you all so much. That's about it. As always, thank you again. I love you all. Have a great night, and I am going to play us out.